Welcome, students. As you embark on your college education at 10-Minute University, you will be receiving an education unavailable at even the finest of institutions in 10 minutes than you would in 4 years of traditional college. For the Bachelor of Arts degree, it is required that you study biology, psychology, philosophy, film appreciation, conversational Latin, physics, political science, comparative literature, economics, and football. Welcome to college. The 10 best minutes of your life. I'm a mutant, you're a mutant, we're all mutants. And in Biology 103, The Theory of Evolution, we investigate the evolutionary process over the last 3.5 billion years. It will take just a minute to explain. Everywhere you look these days, there are birds, bees, bacteria, beagles. It wasn't always that way. Once there was only slop. Primordial slop. Some self-replicating molecules started replicating, and that's life. From a bunch of DNA in the goo, you get brain surgeons and BMWs. In just a few billion years. How? Natural selection. Survival of the fittest. Who are the fittest? The ones who survive. Intraspecific competition determines success within a species. Take puffballs. Say puffier puffballs mean tougher puffballs. The puffballs with the right stuff pass their tough stuff onto their offspring because puffiness is a heritable trait. The fecund fungus's offspring get puffier and puffy while its scrawny fellow fungus bites the dust. But that's life. Heritable traits that work. The ones that don't. That's why fish have flippers, not feet. Fish with feet die. So how does one species become another? They mutate. Take primates. Natural selection selected some simians who stood up straighter. That's us. Better posture meant more dates, more sex, more reproduction, and soon we had a gene pool of our own. Very exclusive. No more fraternizing with Uncle Monkey. But that's life. Once you've got your own species, sexual selection takes over. Some traits are sexier to the opposite sex. Take fruit flies. Some have red eyes, some have white eyes. Girl fruit flies flip for guys with red eyes, furthering the demise of the guys with white eyes. Natural selection sure is fun when you're the survivor. One day everything's great, you're surviving and sexually selected. The next thing you know, a million years have gone by and you're dead. But hey, that's life. Psychology is the systematic study of behavior and the factors that influence it. In Psychology 1, we will learn how to identify and correctly label other people's sick, neurotic, pathetic behavior. Let's take a look at Betty, a caring mother and devoted wife who believes that the family dog was sent from outer space to conduct sadistic mind control experiments on her children. Betty's not playing with a full deck. That's because Betty is a paranoid personality. Why? Betty is insane. And then there's Bob, happy-go-lucky one day, kills his mother the next. Bob is a psychotic manic depressive. Why did he do that? Because he's insane. And how about all those people who are addicted to Wheel of Fortune, obsessive-compulsive behavior, or just insane? Freud would say it's the work of the unconscious mind comprised of the sex-starved warmonger id and the goody-goody superego, but does that really explain these behaviors? Who knows? Or maybe it's because the brain is made up of 10 billion itty-bitty teeny-weeny nerve cells, and what happens when just one of those little cells steps out of line? You guessed it, malfunction in the cerebral cortex. We're talking hallucinations, schizophrenia, and before you know it, it's frontal lobotomy time. Let's look at the research. Take white rats, 2 groups. The experimental group is given 100 milligrams pure LSD and receives 50-volt intermittent electrical shocks via electrodes implanted in the brain for 10 weeks as they negotiate a complex maze while deprived of water, food, and sex. The control group is given a placebo and watches Ozzie and Harriet reruns on TV. When we look at the mean, or the median, or the mode, we see that our experiment This is Philosophy 201, the study of epistemology, in which we ask, how do we know what we know when we know that we know it, even if we don't know if we really know it? This is not an easy course. How about the tree in the quad? Does that tree really exist? Am I here? How do I know? Are you there? If so, are you awake? And what if I don't see the tree? Is it still there? In other words, is the universe merely the solipsistic extension of selfhood over the apparent phenomena? If phenomena come from you, and noumena come from me, what does that do to the unseen tree in the quad? Got it? Good. So what is knowing? Do I know? What if I hypothesize I don't know? Aha! Then I do know something. Or do I? Stay with me here. I know that I do not know, so it is possible to know in the Socratic sense of knowing the lack of knowledge. But is there an I involved when I say I? Is Descartes right when he says cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am? Couldn't I just be a bunch of sensations with an illusion of I? Is it possible I don't exist at all, or you don't exist? Is thinking dreaming and dreaming nightmarish and nothing exists? Wait a second. Do you need a priori knowledge to know that that tree exists? What if I try walking through it on my way to lunch? Wouldn't a simple appeal to cause and effect free us from the conundrum of subjective idealism? Can I cream my head on a non-existent tree when I don't even know that my head isn't your head, dreaming that it's my head, saying cogito ergo sum as opposed to a real tree, raising a real wealth on my, and I mean my head, thus negating the need for noumena in a nightmarish world not of my own making? Got it? Political Science 155 is the study of the many exciting developments that have occurred in modern U.S. national security. In today's nuclear age, no university course is more important. And in today's university, no course can claim to use more jargon, acronyms, and double talk. After WW2, the US and the USSR couldn't agree on anything, but we didn't care. We had the BOMB. But then those Soviets split their own damn atom and told everybody that they had more long-range striking missiles than we did. We had to do something. After all, would you just sit back and relax if your SAC bases had potentially become vulnerable to Soviet preemptive delivery? No way. So we deployed 1,700 intercontinental and submarine-launched ballistic missiles. By the end of the 60s, it was goodbye flexible response, hello mutual assured destruction. Now nobody had first strike capability. Would you drop the big one on them, lest the big one be dropped on you? No way. A tie's a tie. So everyone sits down for arms control talks. First SALT 1, then SALT 2, but it was all too little too late to prevent massive MERV procurement. Besides, would you have believed those sneaky Soviets when they agreed to limit themselves to only 2,400 strategic launch vehicles? No way. What are you gonna do? Sue them? So we matched them MERV for MERV, but now everybody looks silly. Why? Because there aren't enough feasible targets to go around. But then Reagan spaced out. Star Wars, what a concept. Bombs in space. Of course, Gorbachev tried to KO SDI, but would you have halted development of a 7-layer BMD system relying on space-based weaponry that would give us first strike capability for the first time in 30 years? No way. All universities offer at least one course in a dead and completely useless language. In Roman Studies 25, Conversational Latin, you will learn how to speak a dead and completely useless language. You've just arrived in Rome and you're eager for a good time. First you need wheels. Quantum est pretium carus locandus. Now that you know how much your rented chariot will set you back, you need more cash. Ubi's the word you need. Ubi means where. Ubi est Americanus expressus. Great! You're mobile and you're loaded with dispuncti peregrinorum. Traveler's text. Wanna go shopping? Roma is the fashion capital of the empire, so it's important to be well dressed. Quantum est pretium illa toga in fenestra? Or how much is that toga in the window? Take your new threads to the Forum Hotel and ask for a room with a view contra Colosseum. Hungry? The taberna awaits. Thirsty? Just shout, Venum, Senator! If you're traveling solus, you must be getting lonely. Meeting people is a snap in Latin. Walk right up with a hearty, Salve, quomodo valis. If the answer is fine and you, carpe diem, seize the moment and ask for a dance. Visne mecum saltare, nole me ibi tangere means don't touch me there. But when they say enough talking, satis faborum, and then domus mea vel domus tua, my place or yours, you know you're going all the way or usque ad nauseam. What a language! Now when you're back home, you can say veni vidi vici and mean it. Physics is the study of energy and matter. In Physics 183, we will study the intellectually demanding special theory of relativity. What